I'm Teacher Yusen, and today I'm about to share some important information about RMO. So listen carefully. What is RMO? RMO is the short form for the Raffles Mathematical Olympiad, and it is a competition that is meant for the upper primary students in Singapore. Oh, and it's organized by Raffles Institution. So about RMO, it is also the top 3 mathematical Olympiad competitions alongside APMOPS and MOS. And these 3 competitions are the biggest 3 math Olympiads in Singapore, or also known as a ticket to the Singapore Ivy League. Because doing well in these competitions opens up many doors to the best and the most prestigious schools. So, well, what about this competition? Let's take a deeper look on what this competition is all about. Well, starting off with the competition itself, there are 2 different categories to it: the junior category and, of course, the open category. The junior category is meant for primary 4 and primary 5 students, while that of the open category is for the primary 6 students. What is the difference between these 2 competitions then? Actually, it is the same exact paper. Just that for the junior category, there's only about 2,000 students that participate every year. But for the open category, there's more than 3,000 students participating, and that makes it much more competitive. So now, you might be thinking, oh, I want to join the competition. How do I register then? Well, to register for the competition, we are not allowed to register on our own. Registration is only through MOE registered primary schools. And that means no individual or private registration is allowed. So with that in mind, now let's take a look at the time where everybody is able to register through their schools. Here are some important timelines of this year. Starting off with 3rd of February, that is a date that all of us should take note of. That is when the registration opens out. So everyone, make sure you are checking your emails diligently to make sure that you are not missing out any of your school mails. On the 17th of March, what happens is that there will be a trial competition, and the details of it is as follows. Students are just inside to try how to use the system and familiarize themselves to make sure that they know how to use it during the actual competition. And well, the actual competition is on 10th of April as well as 9th of May for the second round. And throughout all of these timings, you will realize that there's about 10 days of gap between the round 1 and the release of the results. So with that being said, talking about competition, how is it going to be like? Well, starting with round 1. For round 1, the competition is just at your own respective schools, being an online competition. Students are asked to do 20 multiple choice questions in just one singular hour. And as mentioned just now, both the junior and open category uses the exact same paper. But what about the second round then? For the second round, there's something that is different now. Well, the location would now be at Raffles Institution directly, being an offline examination. And now for this round 2, the 2 categories are split out. For the junior category, they'll be asked to do 15 short answered questions. But for the open category, 7 short answered questions and 4 detailed questions that need workings. But what is the time that is given for them? It is only still one singular hour. So with that in mind, we have talked about the competition details. What type of awards can we get by participating in it then? Here it is. If you are joining a round 1, what you will get is that, if you are able to get to the top 2% of all participants, you'll be awarded with a high distinction. And the next 13% will be a distinction award, followed by 15% for merit. And all in all, this covers a total of 30% of all participants. And that means the rest of the 70%, well, they will just be getting a certificate of participation. But among these awardees for round 1, who are allowed to go to the next round? Well, actually, here it is. For the junior category, oh, that's only the top 2%, or the top 40, whichever is lower, qualifying for round 2. As well, for the open category, the top 3% or the top 60. So we can see that to get into round 2, it is very, very competitive. What if we get into round 2 then? Well, for the round 2, there's also individual awards. But no, everybody will get a certificate indicating that their placement among all other candidates in round 2. So with that being said, what do we do if we are getting these awards? How do they help us then? Actually, it is very simple. I think a lot of you parents here already know that to direct school admission, the DSA, to other schools, you will have to have a good portfolio. And to get to Raffles Institution, of course, you are able to DSA with Math Olympiad. So what about it? If you're able to get a high distinction, well, this makes your chances of getting an interview with Raffles Institution very, very high. And then also, you have a very high chance of acceptance based on the track records of our students. What about if you get a distinction then? Well, for distinction, there's a high chance of an interview with Raffles Institution, as well as a medium high chance of acceptance through DSA. What if you're saying that we do not want to DSA to Raffles Institution? What about other schools? NUS High, Hwa Chong Institution? Well, for DSA, they look at your portfolio. So getting a great result in RMO will be very, very important and helpful for your DSA to any school in Singapore. So with that being said, that is all that I have to share for this competition. If you're interested in more details as well as how to prepare for RMO, stay tuned for our new videos or our articles that we are uploading frequently. That's all for today. If you have any other queries, feel free to just contact me via WhatsApp or WeChat through the QR code below. And all of our teachers will be very glad to help all of you. So with that being said, that's all for today. Bye bye.